Director of Marketing for VOCO America. For those of you who are not familiar with VOCO, VOCO is a German-based global manufacturer of dental materials based in about, we actually do business in over 100 countries. And today I'm excited to talk to you about our newest product, Admira Fusion. Admira Fusion is a universal nano-ORMOCER. It's a direct restorative, and it's the world's first all-ceramic direct restorative. So what is it? Admira Fusion is a technological breakthrough after more than a decade of research. It's purely based on silicon oxide, i.e. ceramic. It is a light cure direct restorative based on VOCO's new Nano-ORMOCER technology, and we'll explain what that is. It's applied and indicated for use in the same way as the composites that you currently use in your practice already, most likely. And it can be used with all the conventional based adhesives that are also being currently used. It offers up to 50% less shrinkage and shrinkage stress compared to modern composite. Contains no classic monomers for a new level of biocompatibility, and we'll explain what that means. And offers users an elevated aesthetics and extremely high shade stability, as well as a perfect balance between translucency versus opacity. When we talk about Admira Fusion, we really need to talk about the technology it's based upon, and that's Nano-ORMOCER technology. Nano-ORMOCER technology comes from two previous technologies we introduced in Nano-Hybrid technology, which many of the dentists here are familiar with, possibly using already, and the Nano-Hybrid composites that are currently on the market. And we invented the very first Nano-Hybrid composite in 2003 in Grandio. And then ORMOCER technology, which is something that was created by the Fraunhofer Institute. That's an institute based in Germany for silicate research. And they partnered with VOCO back in 1996 to explore how that technology could be used within dentistry. Let's go a little bit further. We'll delve into these technologies, starting more with the ORMOCER side. So ORMOCER is actually an acronym. It stands for Organically Modified Ceramic. It's a material class all to its own, trademarked by the Fraunhofer Institute, and contains inorganic and organic copolymers, so it actually resembles the natural tooth, very much so. And it does have some modifications in the resin and the filler side so that it can stick to each other as well as work with adhesive, traditional adhesives, excuse me. ORMOCERs are not new to the world, if you were. They're actually being used in many other industries very successfully. Some that you see on the screen right now: medical technology, optical industry, electronics, etc. Often used as protective or functionalized coating, so anti-scratch coatings, anti-static coatings. You see here surface tension modifications, and many others. But in dentistry, we're really looking at its ability as a three-dimensional cross-linking matrix, replacing the resin that that's been used currently within modern composites that's based on silicon oxide. It eliminates the residual monomers, and that's an issue that's become more and more publicized recently. It has impressive physical properties. And it's the most biocompatible restorative based on the Clifford Research Institute, which some of you may be familiar with, that tests various materials and their toxicity levels. And when we first introduced our first version of ORMOCER back in the late 90s, they found out of 48,500 test subjects, if you will, it had received, or they gave it the highest rating ever. And we've actually made an improvement on that with this new technology. On the Nano-Hybrid side, we're the use of nanoparticulates. So we're looking at small spherical pieces of glass, 20 to 60 nanometers in diameter, so small that it actually seems to flow like a liquid, even though it's a solid. In composites or restorative materials, nanoparticulate allows for a significant reduction of the resin often being associated with a lot of the negative aspects of a restorative material, and thus a reduction of monomers contained within it. That reduction of resin allows for a better improved performance of that material from a longevity standpoint, better aesthetics, easier handling, and other benefits. The objective that we had was basically take the best properties from the ORMOCER side, take the best properties from the Nano-Hybrid side, and create a Nano-ORMOCER direct restorative that's purely based on silicon oxide, completely free of classic monomers with those enhanced physical properties. And today we introduce Admira Fusion. Here you have a TEM. We animated that, and the yellow objects you can see are our nanoparticulate glass. The tan is the hybrid glass, and the gray is the ORMOCER matrix. All three of those are based on silicon oxide, and thus how we come to the claim of being the world's first all-ceramic-based direct restorative. It's important to mention that this material has the exact same application and indications as the composites that you're already using. So from an implementation and a transition standpoint, it would be absolutely seamless if this is a technology that you're looking to utilize. So we've talked about ORMOCER, we talked about Nano-Hybrid and those different technologies. We now join them in a Nano-ORMOCER technology. And what do we achieve with Admira Fusion? Well, The biggest improvement is that it's up to 50% less shrinkage and shrinkage stress. So we're talking about better longevity, better marginal integrity. 1.25% initial shrinkage is a significant reduction compared to what's currently available on the market today. In this slide, we're basically showing on the left side a traditional composite where you have traditional monomers. And when you hit it with a light, those monomers have to come together to polymerize, and thus you have your shrinkage and shrinkage stress. On the right side, you have the Admira Fusion ORMOCER matrix. That ORMOCER is made up of large pre-polymerized molecular groupings that are much closer together and have much more opportunities to link together. And because of that, it's a much less shrinkage and shrinkage stress, obviously in layman's terms here. From the next level of biocompatibility, we actually didn't use any of the classic monomers. So no bis-GMA, which means none of the media-driven public concern of BPA, no UDMA, no TEGMA, no HEMA. And we also used ORMOCERs because they have over 100 bonding sites, or double bonds, where they can polymerize and come together. That's compared to just 2 sites when you talk about traditional monomers. Together, we eliminate residual monomers, and we have the proof through our gas chromatography testing and other chemistry testing, which allows for that higher level of biocompatibility. Here we just have a visual example of traditional monomers where you see they're more linear and you only have 2 double bond sites. On the right side you have ORMOCER resin, which is more 3-dimensional with over 100 bond sites, and with that, again, much more opportunity to polymerize and eliminate residual monomers. Just a quick metaphor there. So instead of, if we're all monomers, we have 2 hands to connect. If you're an ORMOCER, you're more like an octopus with 100 hands. And so you're connecting to your left, to your right, in front of you, behind you, above you, below you. And obviously with that, we talk about the biocompatibility. Here's just an aesthetic test where we took 3 different materials, Admira Fusion as well as 2 bis-GMA materials. We put them in red wine. We left them there for 2 weeks because we all leave red wine in our mouth for 2 weeks when we drink it at 37 degrees. And as you can see on the screen, it fared very, very well compared to those bis-GMA materials as far as its color stability. To the Nano-Hybrid side, we look at the higher filler content. That's one of the things we were trying to achieve. So at 84%, it's one of the higher filled materials, reducing the amount of resin in there, increasing the amount of glass filler, which is better physical properties. Speaking to the strength, we're looking at surface hardness and edge strength, represented by the green bar compared to other market-relevant materials. You can see how it's performed at a higher level. On this slide, we're just wanting you to see that it's truly a universal material. It has the aesthetics to work beautifully in the anterior, as well as the strength to work well in the posterior. We do have 18 shades of Admira Fusion, including 3 different opacities. So you can use this as a single shade restoration, or use it as a more aesthetic layered shade restoration. Here you see that we have, obviously, the different shades we contain. We have it in 2 kits, both in syringe and caps. And in closing, Admira Fusion offers an evolutionary step forward for direct restoratives. Up to 50% lower shrinkage and less shrinkage stress, which means better marginal integrity and better longevity. A new level of biocompatibility, giving you the ability to offer higher quality of care to your patients. Improved aesthetics, improved handling. A price point that's competitive in today's market. It definitely is not going to be a big change from what maybe you have to utilize in your office already. And in the end, a totally new restorative built from the molecular level up to offer you a material that provides a higher performance quality for both you and your patients. I realize that many of you here are hygienists, and I appreciate you taking some time listening to a restorative-based material. I hope that if it's something that interests you, you'll share it with your office and with the dentist that you work with. And please encourage them to come down to booth number 8001, where they can have a free sample, and you guys can go back to your own office and decide how it works for yourselves. Otherwise, thank you very much.